In today's video, we are examining Senegal's move to renegotiate mining and oil contracts under the new leadership of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, aiming to benefit local communities. This shift has sparked concerns among industry experts about potential impacts on future investments. Faye, who assumed office after a decisive election win, announced these plans shortly after his inauguration on April 2, emphasizing that investors are still welcome despite the significant policy change. This marks a departure from his predecessor, Macky Sall's more investor-friendly approach, which struggled to reduce living costs or boost employment through major infrastructure projects. Before we proceed, please like this video, subscribe to the African Web channel to stay updated on Bassirou Diomaye Faye, and let us know in the comments your thoughts on President Faye's renegotiation strategy. Despite warnings from politicians and business analysts, Senegal's President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, through his Energy and Mines Minister Birame Souleye Diop, announced on April 11 that the government may renegotiate mining, oil, and gas contracts after an anticipated audit. This decision, driven by the need to address terms previously deemed unfavorable to Senegal, has raised concerns about potential negative impacts on investment and future partnerships. Critics argue that such renegotiations could deter investors due to uncertainties and the possibility of altered contract terms, which could affect the development of the oil and mining sectors. On the campaign trail, Faye, the youngest democratically elected president in Africa, had prioritized these renegotiations. Meanwhile, Woodside Energy, an Australian firm holding 82% of Senegal's offshore Senegal oil and gas field, has urged the government to honor existing contracts. The field is slated to begin production in mid-2024. Former President Macky Sall has also cautioned that changing signed contracts could have disastrous consequences for Senegal. According to documents from the previous administration and the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, the Senegalese state is set to receive up to 60% of future oil and gas profits. Ibrahim Akadrame, a former petro and communications manager, notes that oil contracts typically lack explicit renegotiation clauses and instead include provisions for dispute resolution. These mechanisms, such as arbitration or specific procedures for handling disagreements, focus on resolving issues within the existing contract framework rather than allowing for a complete rewrite of the terms. Drame points out that the absence of clear renegotiation options can introduce uncertainty for both the government and oil companies, especially as significant changes occur. He warns that attempting to renegotiate these contracts could be fraught with risks, potentially damaging Senegal's investment reputation and deterring future partners. In less developed fields like Senegal's earth gas field, which is still early in development, renegotiating contracts may be less complex due to minimal prior investments. This flexibility in renegotiation could vary depending on the project stage and the associated risks. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye, committed to prioritizing local welfare, aims to ensure that the benefits of these industries are more equitably distributed to support the community. Following his election, Faye directed his prime minister to draft an urgent action plan to strengthen Senegal's weakening economy. The International Monetary Fund predicts that the forthcoming oil and gas production will significantly boost Senegal's economic growth. As the youngest president in the nation's history, Faye's administration is marked by bold reforms intended to reshape Senegal's economic landscape. These negotiations are indeed a critical component of the action plan that President Faye instructed Prime Minister Sonko to execute. He also mandated a comprehensive review of programs and plans, as well as an assessment of the state of public finances, international cooperation, and public-private partnerships. Faye directed the government to finalize this plan by month's end and swiftly implement aggressive policies to revive the national economy in collaboration with the Senegalese private sector. These initiatives reflect his campaign commitments to fundamentally transform the economic and social fabric of the nation. It is important to note that Senegal, with a population of 18 million and a third living in poverty and a 20% unemployment rate, has faced significant economic challenges. The ongoing war in Ukraine and the COVID-19 pandemic have exacerbated the country's economic difficulties. The past 3 years of social and political turbulence have also undermined investment, pushing debt and inflation to record highs. According to Sonko, the government's primary goals include upholding human rights, reducing living costs, and creating employment opportunities for the youth. The outcomes of these negotiations are poised to significantly impact Senegal's oil and gas industry and its ambition to become an oil producer. The government is keen to ensure that any contract revisions align with the nation's best interests. While details on how the contracts will be restructured remain undisclosed, changes may affect terms, conditions, and revenue-sharing provisions. Investors are advised to monitor these discussions closely to assess the stability and attractiveness of the investment climate. Despite potential risks, Senegal remains a favored investment destination due to its robust legal and regulatory frameworks and investor-focused policies. The government's commitment to transparency and equitable distribution of benefits could help maintain investor confidence. Senegal has sought support from international organizations to enhance its ability to negotiate complex agreements in the extractive sectors. For example, the World Bank has provided technical assistance to align oil and gas development initiatives with public interests and attract private sector investment. This collaboration could facilitate effective contract renegotiations and sustainable growth in Senegal's extractive industries. However, renegotiating mining and oil contracts carries inherent risks due to potential complications and uncertainties, even as the country strives to fairly distribute resources and maximize economic benefits. The volatile nature of the extractive industries and the complexity of contract negotiations require the government to navigate carefully. President Bassirou Diomaye Faye faces multiple challenges beyond contract issues, including his commitment to eliminate the CFA franc, a colonial currency still used in West Africa. This initiative aligns with similar moves by Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, marking a shift from a long-standing French influence known as Francafrique. President Faye's success in transitioning to new or different currencies will be a key test of his left pan-Africanist agenda. Many are hopeful that Senegal's new president, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, will collaborate with Ibrahima Traoré of Burkina Faso and other West African leaders to establish a single currency. The success of this initiative remains to be seen, and Senegal must approach these discussions with caution. The risks involved include potential lengthy legal disputes, strained investor relations, and project delays. To maintain investor confidence and attract further investments, it is crucial that the renegotiation process is conducted transparently and in line with international best practices, ensuring the best outcomes. We are interested in hearing your thoughts. Do you think the renegotiation of these oil and mining contracts poses a risk to Senegal? Share your views in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the African Web channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.